Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Power Ranger fans are pissed at Simon Bennett. No surprise there. Again. Yesterday Simon went on a tweet fest, as he always does, about Power Rangers and talking about it. He's basically the James Gunn of Power Ranger franchise. And so he has pissed off a large group of the fandom who love toku series and stuff. Basically, so I guess somebody asked him about, where the future of Power Rangers is going, the Netflix reboot and Hasbro and stuff like that. And he says, plain and simple, he has no idea and everything, because simple fact, he just doesn't. And so he just gave his opinion on, where he thinks the franchise needs to go. I'm just gonna paraphrase because there's really no point in reading to somebody. I don't like it when YouTubers do that. It's like I can read it on screen. And so I'm gonna try to post as many things as he said and then just paraphrase. Some of the things that he said just recently is a little confusing. I don't know how to take it. And I look at this through both angles. I get what he's saying, but at that same time, I agree with some of the fandom and stuff like that. And so basically what he says is that to reach a mainstream audience for Power Rangers, for it to be truly successful and everything and get it back to where it used to be, you have to get away from the toku series roots. And, none of that Japanese footage, none of the storylines, something he needs, get out of the niche, mindset and everything, and go something more broad, something more different. And so because on a business standpoint, you want your thing to be successful, so you want to try to make it different so everybody can like it. Problem is that if people already don't like it, they're not gonna be a fan of it. And so the people who keep it alive for the most part are that of the fans and stuff. That is who Power Rangers is for. Power Rangers isn't for everybody. It's for those that literally love it. Now, of course, some of the people who are pissed at him are diehard Power Ranger fans, older fans, and people who mainly just love Sentai Toku series and hate on Power Rangers. Like this one guy's comment I read, he's literally a Sentai lover and he hates Power Rangers. Like I just said yesterday, there are those types of people and stuff. But then he goes on to say other stuff. He says Power Rangers should reinvent itself, similar to how Riverdale reinvented the Archie series. Has he ever watched the Riverdale series? But I do get what he's kind of saying, See, when Riverdale came out, it was dark, it was gritty, and it was a murder mystery. And I thought to myself, you could do Scooby-Doo like that. You really, really can. But so far they haven't. However, Riverdale, of course, crashed and burnt because, like I said before, the showrunner, the creator of Riverdale, Lord, that man cannot cook in the kitchen. And so, I do get what he's saying. To reach a large group of people, to get money and everything and keep a series alive, you have to go in a different direction at times and do things that are outside of the fandom. Because if you go outside the fandom, then of course you bring in more fans. When you bring in more fans, you bring in more money and stuff. They tried that, and it always crashes and burns with every property that has ever tried that. Every property has tried to reinvent itself and making it more modern or dark or grittier. It doesn't do very well. Disney is struggling with their live action reboots because they're changing a lot of the source material and stuff, and because they're trying to please everybody and it's not working for those hardcore fans. Star Trek tried that in 2009 with the JJ movies, and then they tried further with all of their new Trek series that confused and pissed off the fandom. And Star Wars has tried that has pissed off the fandom. And with all those properties I just named, no new people came in to be all like, oh yeah, this is new, this is fresh, this is reinvigorating and everything. I wish I would have watched this stuff in the past. But there's a reason why people didn't watch that stuff in the past. They didn't care for it and stuff. And that's how it is with Power Rangers. If you wasn't a Power Ranger fan before, you're most likely not gonna be a Power Ranger fan now. And the 2017 movie, or was it 2019? I forget what year it was. They tried to reinvent Power Rangers. Because Simon Bennett also said that, with the rebooted series on Netflix, somebody's gonna helm it, and he hopes it goes more into a YA type series. YA type novels like The 100 or something like, Twilight or something like that. And something that's more dramatic. So like I said before, he comes from a background of drama series and stuff. Like I said before, that 2017 movie, they tried that. They went the dark, gritty route. They went for a more dramatic route. And they got away from like what made Power Rangers and stuff. And the thing about that 2017 movie that rubbed me the wrong way is that I don't care if they reinvented their characters and stuff. I don't even care about the whole Krispy Kreme stupid like thing they kept saying over and over. My problem with that movie was we didn't get to see a morph sequence. The costumes were just ripped straight from Iron Man. We didn't get a long enough battle sequence. The whole like Rangers getting to know each other and bond and their different personalities wasn't strong enough. Like you just really feel like you don't know who those characters are, even though you should. But because they're characters you knew in the past, they're not the same, and they've been like, reintroduced to us. But not only that, is that the Megazord fight wasn't even all that impressive. The CGI on like the Putties and Goldar and the new Zords was not impressive. I did not like the redesign of Alpha 5. Zordon was okay. And Rita's outfit was okay, even though Rita should have been played by an Asian woman because that's what Rita was and everything, and because of the Japanese footage. And I'm okay with them getting away from the humor and everything. But when you try to make it that dark and gritty, then you throw in humor like, oh, we must go to the Krispy Kreme or something like that, then that kind of just doesn't fit very well. And it's kind of like, where you going with this tone? Like, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to Power Rangers, my biggest thing is I want to see colorful costumes, like rainbow colored costumes on people. I want to see great fights, and I want to see a great Zord battle. And the movie did not deliver on that. None of the movies have ever delivered on that. All three Power Rangers movies have never delivered on that. And well, except for the first one, kind of. But when it comes to that rebooted movie, they tried, they failed to the point where Saban's like, screw it, I'm selling the company again. And, it did not work. A lot of Power Ranger fans just did not care for that movie. Some did, but a lot did not. And so they tried to go in a different route, and it did not work in their favor and stuff. And, a lot of people online right now are constantly berating him, talking about you need the toku roots, you need like the Sentai footage, you need this and you need that. Honestly, what you need is to keep Power Rangers. You need, because this is another thing, and another statement he wrote, which I don't know how to take this and everything, because you could take it any way you want. Because somebody, where is it? How did I move away from that? Crap, I hate when Twitter like refreshes itself. Okay, here it is. Somebody said something about they agreed that the genre is limited and Power Rangers has to differentiate and something, all this other stuff. And then he goes on to say something like, teamwork, teenagers, morph in sequence, primary color, suit, Zords, and Megazords. These are the main ingredients. Other superhero franchises might have one or two of these. Power Rangers needs them all. So I don't know if he's saying that's what make Power Rangers, or if he's saying that like you need to get away from that and be like others, like people like the Avengers or X-Men or Fantastic Four or something. For me, a lot of that, what he said, what makes Power Rangers, the ingredients, it's true. You need that. You don't need teenagers. See, that's his problem right there. He thinks all Power Rangers are teenagers, but they really aren't. Not that many Power Ranger teams have been teenagers. A lot of them have actually been adults or like young adults and stuff. But like, because see, even he's thinking in that like mindset. But Power Rangers really, and you don't even really so much need teamwork. Well, you do, but not to the point of like, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, like, hey, let's like clean up the park and everything. Like, you don't need that. What you really need to make Power Rangers successful, you need the rainbow colored suits. You need action sequences in and out of the suits. Therefore, civilians fights, which he said in the past, they're not a requirement and they don't feel all that important. See, I had a problem when he said that like a year or two ago. You need civilian fights. Power Rangers is an action-driven show. And, you need the Megazords. And you need whatever alien-type bad guy that they're gonna fight. You have all that. And then, of course, you just throw in the natural, progression stuff. You throw in character development. You throw in something dramatic to get us to know and care for these people out of the suits. And that's really all you need in everything. You don't need humor, which this is why I don't understand. He said that, when he was working on Beast Morphers, they had to adhere by Saban's rules. But then when they went to Dino Fury, they got to get away from that. And we all know Saban micromanaged. Well, here's the thing. Dino Fury had a lot of humor in it. And it was to the point where I looked at it and I'm just like, why did you make this into a kid's show? Was it Nickelodeon who asked them to do that? Was it Hasbro? Like, who was it? And he was the showrunner. And he even said that they didn't have to adhere by Saban rules. So if they didn't have to adhere by it, why was that cringy baby humor still in the show? And so, like I've said before, he comes from a dramatic background, a drama series. And when you watch Dino Fury, it feels like a teen drama first and a Power Ranger series second. And I had a problem with that because, while some of the stuff was really, interesting and stuff, some of the characters just didn't do it for me. And so their YA novel drama type stuff, I could care less and everything. And, Power Ranger fans like a variety of different things. Some like the humor, some like the Japanese humor, some like, just like off the wall, goofy looking aliens and stuff. But you don't really you need that. And then again, you don't. You don't have to appeal to a broader audience. The broader audience is not going to care for it. If they didn't care for it before, they're not going to care for it now. And you can try to change Power Rangers as much as you want, but only those hardcore fans are going to keep coming back, which is funny because about a couple of weeks ago, he made a dig at the hardcore fans. But I'm okay with that because they're constantly making fun of him online. But he's not the only person who wants that. Even JDF said make Power Rangers more like Cobra Kai. He said let's go back into the past and see what the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were like when they was kids. And then he said, of course, what kind of struggles did Tommy go through? So, he wanted a Tommy series and stuff. Personally, I don't care what any of the Power Rangers did when they was kids and everything. I don't want to see a drama type series about that. I don't need to see Zach learning how to dance. I don't need to see Kimberly learning how to do gymnastics. I don't need to see why Billy constantly gets picked on or why he's so smart and everything. I don't need to see that. Period. That's not what Power Rangers is about. Power Rangers is about a group of people who turn into like, heroes, and they get into giant robots and they fight aliens and stuff. They protect the world. And it's like I said before, Power Rangers is not that different from other superhero stuff like X-Men or the Avengers and stuff. But then he said that if Power Rangers were to go back to the toku roots and everything, most likely it will be animation. He said it all has to do with money and what brings it in. It's just like the whole 2017 movie. If it doesn't bring in enough money, then they're gonna go a different route. And this is the thing about the Netflix reboot. People are wondering, for the love of God, what is it going to be about? Because nobody knows and everything. And, it's only speculation. And people always look back to the 2017 movie as inspiration of what Netflix might do. And when you look at other Netflix type series. But you know what? If they can stay true to what Power Rangers is, but make it more mature, I'm all in for that and everything. But it really depends on how mature it's gotta be. You gotta have great action sequences. If you don't got the martial arts action sequences, then it's gonna lose its appeal. If the suits don't look reminiscent to a like Power Ranger suit with like the helmet and like the belts and the morphers and like, something that looks more like a traditional superhero suit, and then you go the route of Iron Man again, that's gonna turn people off, you know what I'm saying? Because while the Iron Man Power Ranger suits look cool, it never looked like Power Rangers. They never truly looked and felt like Power Rangers. I mean, look at Batman. His look has not changed, period. Yeah, his color has changed, but yet his costume has not. He still wears a cowl. He still wears a cape. He still wears some type of like suit type thing, whether it be fabric or rubber. He still wears a belt, gloves, and boots. The only thing that changes about Batman is what color you make him. Either it be gray, blue, gray, black, or all black and everything. But his suit remains the same. He never looks like Iron Man 24/7 unless he builds an exosuit to take on somebody like Bane or Superman or something. That is the only time he looks different. And it's the same thing about Spider-Man and stuff. So when the movie decided to make Iron Man Power Ranger suits, it turned people off. When there was no real morphing sequence, it turned people off. When there was no real cool looking morpher or coins, it turned people off. When, Goldar looked the way he did and was a mindless zombie, it just turned people off and everything. When Zordon was more like, risking everything just to like come out of that thing he was in, and he didn't care the consequences or sucking Jason in, that turned people off and everything. And, I don't know what's going to happen to Power Rangers. I really don't. I don't know what Cosmic Fury is going to look like because, I just don't. Because it ain't came out yet. I don't know what the Netflix reboot's going to look like, what it's going to feel like. I don't want to see Power Rangers go the animated route. I really don't. Unless they have good animation. If they have good animation, maybe like a Young Justice League type thing, then I'll be interested in that. You know what I'm saying? I just think when it comes to Power Rangers, if you're a Power Ranger fans, just, live up your glory days by watching it online or your DVDs or something like that, because Power Rangers is probably not going to be the same no more. Like, it's probably not. And when we do get to see what the new Power Rangers is going to look like, it's probably going to alienate people. There'll be those that will still stick with it, but then there will be those who will be just kind of like, I'm done. Power Rangers is dead. Long live like my DVDs and everything. Just go relive that. You know what I'm saying? Like, be back in the happy days. I mean, we had 27, 30 something good years for the most part. Some bad, but for the most part, we had some pretty good years. We had a good run, y'all. This fandom lasted for a long time. We had a good run. And if it has to come to an end, then, hopefully it goes out with a bang and everything. And, we'll give it its memorial service and stuff. And you know, when he gave insight about his opinion of where Power Rangers needs to go, like he said before, he doesn't know anything. Maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he does. You know, they have to sign contracts and NDAs and stuff like that. And I doubt he would spill the beans and get in trouble and stuff. But you know, I don't know how he feels about the franchise. I truly don't. I know there are fans right now who are just ripping this dude to shreds. Like the very second I'm making this video, talking about him and Saban don't care about the brand and they destroyed it and stuff like that. I honestly believe when this dude is done with Power Rangers, he's gonna wipe his hands of it and just move on and never think about it again. Because the man has been through the ringer. Like, I do not hate him. I do not think he's a terrible like showrunner, but I truly feel like he just doesn't truly understand Power Rangers and stuff. I get he wants Power Rangers to be big and you know bold and all this other stuff because you know if it's not a success then it looks bad on him. But I think this was just a genre that he's not too acquainted with. Like you really gotta be a fan of Power Rangers and what Power Rangers came from in order to truly successful make a true Power Rangers series. And I get it. Like I said before, it feels like a teen drama at times, which would have been okay if they would have took out that humor, had better fights, and like the acting was a little bit better and stuff like that. Because some of the people acting in Dino Fury just rubbed me the wrong way and stuff. And you know, I just think that when he does this, the Sentai stuff, or when he does this, the fans, it's out of like him clapping back because fans have been attacking this man for like however long Dino Fury's been on the air for like what 2 years or so, something like that. Like fans have literally attacked this man left and right, and he's frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And because some of the fans take their hatred a little too far and everything. That's why it's no fun to be a fan of any fandom and stuff. But at that same time, you know, when he does this Power Ranger by saying taking it away from like the toku series roots or like, you know, not using the Q Ranger suits or talking about like, you know, civilian fights are not important. And like, you know, that one dig he made at older Power Rangers fans a couple of weeks ago, then there's reason for people to be pissy at him and stuff like me and everything. Somebody who does not hate him and who does not berate him, but take offense to that because I am a older Power Ranger fan. I'm gonna be a Power Ranger fan till I'm an old crusty man on a walker and everything, you know? You know, I help keep the brand alive like other older Power Ranger fans. The problem, like I've been saying, with the entirety of Power Rangers, it has not been a kid's show for a very long time. But yet the companies that keep buying it keep thinking it's a kid's show. So they appeal to little kids. Problem is, the little kids aren't really watching unless they're watching with their older parents, and they're not really buying the merch, especially the expensive stuff, like that stuff that's coming out from Hasbro Lab with the bow and the axe. I will not be buying because I'm not spending close to $200 on that crap. I want a Master Morpher, but I don't want to pay an arm and a leg for it. You know what I'm saying? And I also don't want to hear all those weird like phrases they made him say. Like, why they make him say things like that? He didn't even put no, like, if you listen to the audio, he didn't even put no heart into it because even he realized it was ridiculous and everything. They literally made the Master Morpher into a giant toy and everything. Bandai never did that. When they made the Legacy Morpher, they made it out of diecast. They had the theme song, and that's about it. And then they made, I don't know who made the Zeomorphers and stuff, Zeonites. I don't know who made that. Bandai, Hasbro, I don't know. But at least they just put the morphing call in there. That's fine. they didn't go out their way to like bring up all these goofy phrases and stuff. And that's what Hasbro is doing. Hasbro has literally went back and said, this is a kid's show. Let's keep it like that and everything. And that right there is the problem. When you keep Power Rangers as a kid's product, no other person outside the fandom is going to want to associate with it. Even hardcore fans that's been there for the longest time are starting to dip out because it's getting way more kid friendly. And the fans are way too old and they want something a bit more mature. It don't have to be super mature like Riverdale. What the world was he thinking when he said Riverdale? But you know, it's like, if the MCU back in the good days could find a blend of maturity and humor, then Power Rangers can find the same thing as well. And in fact, they have in, like, say, the Disney era and some of the not Nickelodeon, but what's the thing called, Fox Kids era and stuff. And you know, you can do that and make it mature and also make it a little silly for like the younger people. But like, if you know, it's not the Toku series roots that's keeping it a niche product. It's the fact that people think it's a baby show. They think it's a kid's show and everything. And then when they do turn it on, like say somebody hasn't watched Power Rangers since, I don't know, since maybe Time Force. Let's say that. Say they haven't watched it since Time Force. Or Wild Force, the whole Fox Kids era. And then all of a sudden, a few years back, they turned it on to Ninja Steel. And there they saw Monty and whatever his name was farting. Then they're gonna be like, oh, it's that kid show I used to watch and it has never changed and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what they're gonna say. Same thing with Once and Always. When Once and Always wanted too much of an homage to the 90s Power Ranger series, I literally read comments, people saying, oh, this has not changed. It's exactly the same as it always was. And this is why I stopped watching it. And that was a mistake and everything. I get it. It was a love letter to fans, but they went a little too far in the 90s and everything. So, you know, that's my take on this. You can, of course, read his comments yourself on his Twitter page and stuff. He really needs to stop tweeting, like he really does. This is what's getting James Gunn in trouble and everything with DC fans. Like, just chill. Don't talk about the product. Like, just talk about something else. Alrighty. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.